All right, welcome cabinet makers. This is a video that is going to show us how to make the second step of our basic cabinet. We're going to make this little picture frame in here as a little piece that I call a picture frame, and then a shelf right here. In the instructions, we can see it on this page right here. We can see all the dimensions. I have made note of all of the numbers that I need, and I'm ready to go and draw. So let's go back to Onshape, and let's go back to our project. This is where we left off last time at finishing our sides. So I need a new tab down here, and that tab is called the Part Studio. So I go to the plus sign right here and go to Create Part Studio. This will allow me to draw a new part, and I will go ahead and start with the shelf that we have. That was that bottom large piece. So I need to have a sketch. Click on the sketch. I get to choose 3 different sketch planes. And again, try to choose the one that's oriented to the project the best you can. And that in this case would be the top, where the shelf lays flat like a top. So we do that. And we're going to right click and choose View Normal to Sketch Plane. And there we go. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and draw a quick rectangle. And then the dimensions that I need for this are 15.25, enter. And even though that little text box is off the screen, I'm going to type in 11.375. There we go. And there is my rectangle. That is my shelf right there. I'm done with my sketch. I'm going to go to extrude, and I'm going to click on the extrude, and it has brought it out a certain distance. Well, it's brought it out 1 inch. I'm going to change that to 0.75 because our oak veneer plywood is 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to be done with my extrude. All right, now another little trick that you didn't learn in the first video is we can change the color of this. If we make our whole cabinet out of blue in Onshape, it gets a little boring. So let's go ahead and right click on this, and we will choose Edit Appearance for part 1. And you get to choose a color. So let's go ahead. I'll choose light purple. There we go. Now I got that color chosen, and now we're going to call this our shelf. We got to rename it down here. Click on that, and there we go. Now I have to create those other 2 pieces. I'm just going to draw 1 short PF, and I'm going to draw 1 long PF. So let's go back to our drawing. And here's another shortcut. I could go ahead and go to Create Part Studio and redraw another rectangle and so on. But let's just go right here to the Shelf tab. We are going to right click on that and go to Duplicate. And I got this thing in my way here, so we'll click on Duplicate here, and it should say Shelf Copy underneath that. I'm going to go and click on the sketch. And I'm going to leave the 15.25 because that happens to be the length I need for my long PF. And I'm going to change this to 2.5. And I'll hit done. Now I've got my long PF drawn. See how fast that was? What I am going to do, let's change the color. Edit appearance. We'll make this some kind of a nice gray. All right, so now I've got my long PF. Now what I'm going to do is copy this or duplicate this tab, and there's my shelf copy one, and let's see here, I need to change this, so I'm going to click on the sketch. This time I'm going to change the length to 6.375. That's what it tells me on the plans. And then I'm going to hit sketch, and there, I've got that part drawn. I'm going to go ahead and change the color again, though, to Edit Appearance for part 1. And we'll just make it a little bit different shade of gray to offset it. All right. Now, this gets to be real confusing as to having shelf copy 1, shelf copy, 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 copy. So we're going to change all this, and we're going to right click on this and go to rename. And this was short, and I use the term PF for picture frame, which is just my term. Don't worry about it. You won't ever use that term again if you go out and build cabinets for a living. Let's go ahead and type in long PF. All right. All right, so there we go. We've got these parts drawn right here. I've got the long PF, the short PF, and the bottom shelf. Hey, let's go ahead and make this assembly right here. Get you started on assemblies. Here we have an assembly tab they've already given us, so let's go ahead and use it. Now we are going to go ahead and click up here to the insert button, and we're going to look for long PF. I'm going to need 2 of those. 1, 2. I'm going to need a short PF. I'm going to need 2 of those. 1, 2. And go ahead and click that. And so we're going to go ahead and pull these apart. And we'll zoom out. All right, so now I need to assemble this. And in order to assemble this, these are just floating around in space. Okay, floating around in space. And so I need to anchor one down. And so I'm going to right click on this and choose Fix. Well, what that does is I can't move it around now. All right, I'm going to click and can't move it around. That's going to be helpful when I attach these to that piece. They won't move around on me. All right, so here is probably one of the more confusing and frustrating parts for kids when they are making an Onshape project, in particular an assembly. You have to figure out how this is going to attach. I'm going to want to take this piece. Let's go back first of all and see. Here's our long PF, and then I need the short PFs in between those. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for this corner right here, and then this corner right here for attaching. And in this particular case, here's that one corner right there, and then I'm going to need this corner right there. So we're going to use this tool, Fasten Mate, or you can hit M on the keyboard and you'll bring up this tool. And we're going to use this tool for every single assembly except for one at the very end. So just get used to that button right there. Here we have the dialog box. Now this is what happens when you hover over a screen. You get these little grips or these little white buttons or whatever you want to call them. Notice that as I hover over, I said screen, but plane, as I hover over a surface or a plane, I get a different set of white buttons. And I want you to know that this corner has 3 different white buttons on it. It all depends on which plane you are on. So I want to match up this plane right here, and I'm going to choose this corner piece. I don't have to get right on it. I'm close enough to it, and now I'm going to click. All right, and it says, yep, I got a mate connector part right up there. Now I'm going to do the same thing down here, and I want to choose the same type of surface here, if you will, or matching or parallel surface. And I'm going to go ahead and click that. I clicked and it didn't work, so click again. There it goes. All right. So now look, it brought it over there and it matched those 2 up, but that's not how I want it. I have these opportunities right here. A couple ways to change it. I can flip it on its primary axis. That gives me 2 choices, but each time I do that, I get 4 more choices. So I can rotate this around until it gets into place. And those 4 choices didn't work, so I'm going to go back to this one, and I'm going to choose 4. And look at that. The 8th choice, of course, is the one that works. All right, so there you have it. It's lined up, and I'll hit the green approve button. And I'm going to do the same thing. Right over here, the tool is still chosen. It's asking me to fasten another one, so I'm going to grab this corner, and I'm going to put it on that corner right there. And look at that. Okay, so that's on there, and now I'm going to bring this one over. I might as well use, oops, see how that jumps to the wrong corner? I want to make sure that I'm hovered onto this. Let's go ahead and do that once. We're going to choose the wrong corner. And now we're going to put it over here on the correct corner, and no matter how many times I rotate it, it's not going to fit. Okay, so that means you're going to go back to, you can delete both of these if you want, but I happen to know that the top one was the wrong one. And now I want to choose that one. There we go. All right, so that's my picture frame. I got my picture frame and my shelf done. That is page 2 of this assignment. I'm going to go down to page 3, and we're going to draw all of these little parts right here. Okay, look out for part 3 of this video.